everyone, welcome back to On the Job. Today, we are here with Paulo Douglas, who is a tech leader who turned a passion for problem solving into a career shaping digital experiences for sports fans across North America. Originally from Brazil and now living in Winnipeg, Paulo leads the software development team at a company that creates interactive platforms for live sporting events. His work helps fans engage in real time, making games more exciting and connected. Whether you're in the stadium or watching from home, Paulo didn't always know he'd end up in tech. He started out as a curious teen who enjoyed tinkering with computers and figuring out how things actually worked. That curiosity led him to study computer systems and eventually build a team in software development and a career. Today, with over 15 years of experience and multiple certifications in cloud technologies, Paulo has worked his way from junior developer to leading entire teams and designing systems used by thousands of people. He believes that anyone with curiosity and consistency can succeed in tech. Today, he's here to share how he did it, what it's really like behind the screen, and why the future of tech might just include you. Hello, Paulo. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions today.
Sure.
Okay. So let's talk about how you got started and your background.
All right.
Can you tell us about what your company does and what your role
Sure.
is in that company?
Yeah. So at FedEx, we create interactive experiences for fans of brands, especially sport teams, so sport clubs. So we provide a suite for producers to create interactive experiences to engage their fans with the brands that support their team. So basically, imagining yourself in a hockey game, and during the intermissions, you have those pool votings, or you have sometimes some trivias that you can participate from.
I love those games.
Yeah, those are great games. And even we have some more complex things like digital games, like a baseball bat games and or hockey shootouts, things more complex. But the point here is that we create those experiences so the fans of the brand, they can interact with the platform, and we can create things like leaderboards, for example, and they the brands, the team, they can distribute prizes to their audience, and that helps the teams to have their fan base engaged with their brands.
Definitely. That's super cool. I've never really heard of what they do, so it's really cool to get the background and like who actually does it.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you do that.
It's really cool.
So you work in tech for live sports, like you said. What does a typical workday look like for you?
Oh yeah, so usually we start the day my day starts by, I check dashboards. I have to make sure that everything went okay last night for the teams that we have using our platform. So we have metrics, we have dashboards that we need to watch and check for the patterns of usage of the application, and to see if there were no like significant errors that could mean that something is wrong with the platform. Now we are around 100 active clients at the same time.
Whoa.
So yeah, that we need to have something that helps us to take a look on that, to oversee those things and how everything works, you know. So basically, this is the start of my day. I need to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Then I have some meetings, usually a couple of meetings in the morning.
And this is all in a team, right?
All in the team, yeah. And then after some time, after we have those meetings and we have all synced up with the rest of the team, then I start coding or doing architecture for some things that we are working with, or interacting with the business to check what else we should be doing, because my job involves a lot of things, not just the technical aspect, but the business aspect as well. I need to be involved with that.
Definitely. So we talked about how you started out as a curious teen, but when did you first realize you really wanted to work in technology?
Yeah, it's a fun story, because I was playing with my brother's computer. It was the first computer that we had at home, so it belonged to my elder brother. And I broke his computer when I was playing around with something that I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing with that. So I deleted some important files for the system. I deleted from the computer, and then the computer was not turning on anymore. So
I bet he was mad at you, huh?
He was. And it was like back in, I don't know, maybe 20 something years ago. And then the computer was broken, so I needed to call someone to help to fix. And we hired a computer technician. At that time, the guy came with a lot of tools, and he was very skilled with operational systems. So I started, I was 11, 12 by that time, so I started asking him questions about the technical side of the things, and he started explaining things, and I was able to understand everything. So at that point, I started having some sort of passion about computers, how computers worked, and I was like idealizing myself being somewhere close to doing something close to what that guy was doing, but I didn't have any idea on how complex and how big the tech landscape was.
You knew you just wanted to do technology.
Yeah, I just thought that it would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, you could say that that accident really helped you
for
become who
sure.
you are today.
Yeah.
So he can't get mad
Definitely.
at you, huh?
No.
So let's move on to your career path and how you got where you are. Again, we talked about how you started as a curious teen. How did you go from that, like you said, from that accident to actually leading tech teams?
Yeah, so many things happened after that. So I started probably, after that, I think that my first job was an informal job because my mom, she owned a grocery store in Brazil. So I was helping her in that store. So I was pretty involved with the customer service and everything, so handling people every day. So I believe that my communication skills came from that. So I had to deal with people, to solve problems with angry people or making the customers happy. So I think that I started learning how to communicate effectively by that time. So after that, I had other experiences working with other minor stuff. Had my college graduation and everything, but I started somewhere in the middle of that. I spent some time in the Brazilian army, so I believe that that was another key point in my the skill set that I have nowadays, the soft skills that I have. That I got from there, because I was there. I learned a lot of things about organization, about discipline, about leadership. So I believe that some of the core aspects of what I did there, I still use nowadays.
So everything that you learned at the grocery store, in the army, that all helped?
All helped. Everything I used. I believe that I built a lot of things, one on the top of the other, and now I have like a full stack of tools that I can use.
You can definitely go back to that, and you can look and see what you really need, right?
Right.
Passed on those experiences.
Yeah, from the problems that I solved in different situations, even out from the technology.
Yeah, so. I agree. So we were talking about your education and training. Is there anything else that helped you get into this field?
Sure. Yeah. So I have several courses that I took during my career, the entire career. So I started with a computer technician job course. So that was the first, let's say, formal course that I took that helped me to get into the field. So when I started that, I got an internship at a company, and I started like with 3 months of doing that course. I got an internship, and I ended up being hired by that company later. And I was hired even before finishing that course. So it's a pretty common thing in Brazil, having people studying and working full time at the same time. So I was doing that. I was working the entire day. I was studying in the morning and working the rest of the day. So it was something that I did for a while. And then after, I don't know, I got some people that I knew during that course. They started referring me to other jobs, to other companies.
And that probably definitely helped, right?
And that helped a lot, yeah. And some courses that I took while doing that as well, because you start learning about the possibilities, and you start like looking, hey, maybe this area here, because there's a full set of paths that you can choose when you start in tech. So I started exploring each one of those paths, and I found passion for development. So when I found that passion, I started doing free courses, or maybe just trying to get some diplomas from minor courses. And yeah, that helped a lot.
Yeah, the internship probably helped you understand how it is. And did you get hands-on experience during the internship?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole point of that kind of course. When you go to the university, usually you start by learning a lot of theories, and you learn a lot about the foundations of everything. That's pretty good, and that's essential, I would say, for the whole picture, for the entire career. Is essential to have those set of skills. But those courses, those diplomas, those computer technician diplomas, especially in Brazil, they are more job market focused. So you are more concentrating on the aspects of what you need to perform that job. So the foundations, they are not in depth as when you were looking for comparison with the university programs, but they're enough for you to get started in the field.
Yeah, and it's good for the people who want to start that want to get started, right?
Yeah,
in
they
that
are.
Field.
They are.
Okay, so moving on, are there any turning points like your internship or challenges that shaped your journey?
Yes, they are. I believe that the most impactful turning point, I would say, was when I changed jobs for the very first time. Like when I got my first job in software development, it was in a company called, it was a big company called CACTUS in Brazil. It's a company that by that time they were employing around 10,000 people across the globe. So mostly in Brazil, but they had offices outside from Brazil as well. Nowadays they're probably even bigger than that. But it was 2016 when I left that company. But I was working with them for more than 6 years by that time, and I was feeling that for quite a time, like probably for more than a year. I was feeling that I was not learning anything meaningful anymore. I was just like doing the same thing every day, and I was not exploring new possibilities. And well, it was a pretty decent paying job. It was not. It was probably a very secure career to follow. If I stay with the company, I would probably make a career there. But I was not learning anything new anymore. So I started looking for other options and talking to the people that I knew. And I got an offer from someone that I knew in the university. And that guy, he offered me a job at his company. Because he had a small company. That company was growing. They had many big companies trying to hire their services, and they didn't have people enough to handle those requests. So he started creating a new team, and he offered me to be their technical lead for that team. So that was my first experience as a technical lead. And then it was pretty hard for me because I didn't know what would happen. And if anything went wrong, I would be unemployed for a while, for sure. So, but after talking to my wife and getting her support, we decided that it would be worth a try. And I was pretty confident that I could make that work because I was very, very interested in making that work. So I made that move and I started working with that company. Everything was different from the way I was doing things.
So you had to learn something
company
new, right?
They were very fast-paced. They used new technologies. We were using stale technologies in the big company before, so they were using new technologies. Every new project was an entire project from scratch. So I needed to create things from scratch many times. But that helped me to shape the skills that I have nowadays. So it opened me a whole new set of possibilities in my career. And that helped me to grow as a leader, to learn how to be a leader of a tech team as well. So
those challenges led you to be a better person,
yes,
a better worker.
Yeah, I can say so.
Okay. So you are from Brazil, and we were just talking about that. Let's move on to some of your cultural and your career transition, because it must be hard moving to a whole new country.
Yes.
So you moved from Brazil to Canada. How did that transition impact your career?
So it had quite a big impact in my career, I would say, because I started doing things again in a different way. But mostly because the way things were done here in this company were not the same way we were doing in Brazil. So company here was even smaller than the company that I joined before, because they had just gotten a set of investors. They had just invested in the company, so they got some funds, and they were their goal was to create a whole new platform. So they were just bringing people in. They didn't have like a well-formed team or anything. There was like a development lead and a few developers, and it was like a senior developer joining them. So I got that from scratch again, but in a whole new, it was a whole new area, because it didn't work for that industry before. I had worked by that time already, worked with retail, with healthcare, with financial services, but I never had worked with entertainment before. So the requirements for that field were different.
You had experience, but not the same as
not the same as this one. Yeah. So and besides that, I was working with people that were speaking English the entire day. It was not speaking English at all in my other job. So I needed to. I found myself in a position where I needed to make myself fluent in the language, enough to be well enough to be proficient to have the effective communication that I had when I was speaking with my peers in Portuguese. And that was probably the biggest challenge. I would say that probably this opened me a whole new set of possibilities again, because in Brazil it was pretty well. I was working and I was pretty well positioned in my career there, but I was probably well positioned only for Brazilian companies, working with Brazilian clients. And making that move made myself, again, well positioned, but not just for Brazilian companies, for companies anywhere, any company that speaks English, now we can communicate.
Right?
Yeah, it opened a lot of new opportunities. And besides that, I was, again, in a different industry, working with different requirements, different systems, different kind of way of doing software, knowing new people. Well, that was the technical aspect of everything. I believe that personally it was challenging a lot, especially because when we arrived here, it was 9 months later, we had the pandemic hitting.
So that must have been hard.
Yeah, we started working indoors for more than a year, and that was challenging because we were just starting to get to know people, starting to go outside and to
now you had
explore,
to be inside.
and now we had to be inside again. But in the end, I can say for sure that it was a very worth move, and I would do that again if I knew what would come later.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we were talking about you being Brazilian, how you moved to Canada. Do you think that your background being Brazilian brings something unique to what you do? Again, you talked about your past experiences.
Yeah, I think that probably not just because of the fact of being Brazilian, but because of the combination of everything that I lived before coming here, because the many experiences that you have outside of the tech field, they will shape you in a different way from people that have only experience with the tech field. So I think that the things that I explored before joining the tech field, they are probably the skills that make myself different from anyone else, because you're not going to find not anyone, but it's not that common to find someone that likes to communicate, and especially in tech. As I can say that for the developers that I know, that they don't like very much to be in a leadership position. They don't like too much to be the one to communicate with clients, to communicate with business. They prefer to be by themselves, coding. Independent. Yeah, doing things like don't require them to have to interact too much.
Less in a team,
So,
right?
Yeah, so I like to do that. So this is probably because of the past experiences that I had and the things that I tried before joining tech. So I would say that this is probably something that is unique about me. I don't say that no one else does that, because I know a lot of good people that work with tech as well that likes to communicate as well. But this is probably what
sets you
makes
apart
me
from
sad.
other people, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to embrace that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about advice for young people, because a lot of people are still figuring out what to do, and in this world now we have like a lot more technology, and so people are wanting jobs in tech, like what you do. So what advice would you give to a young person interested in tech but not sure where to start?
Yeah. I think that the most valuable thing that I learned throughout years is that you should have someone else to mentor yourself on anything that you want to do. This is the most, sometimes you are going to venture in something that you don't know anyone, so there's no way you are going to have some mentor for that. But whenever you can, you should look for someone to mentor you. So if you know someone that that excels in that area that you want to be part of, you should look for that person. You should reach out to that person and try to get some insights, or maybe even having that person as a mentor. So that will be the best scenario, the best possible scenario. I didn't have that luck in the beginning of my career because I didn't know anyone personally that could help me. We didn't have the same tools that we have nowadays. We didn't have LinkedIn. We didn't have like even, it was even harder to find someone in places like YouTube to talk to try to reach out. It was not like nowadays that you can reach out to any people that work for any company. It's easy to find those people online. And I know personally because that this is an effective thing to do, because I did that before. After I joined tech, I started looking mentors inside the companies that I was working on, and looking for guidance from those persons that were in the positions that I wanted to be, and they helped me a lot. So I can say for sure that people, they are willing to help. So sometimes you just need to reach out. Myself,
questions,
yeah,
right?
ask questions. I helped myself a few persons during my career to get started in the area, to giving them advices about things, or even sometimes joining them in coffee talk sessions to discuss
Or
about
even
things.
commenting on a video, right, with a question.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, the littlest thing can help, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And you know that those people, they can, in the end, they can help you get to the companies they are working on.
Yeah.
So if you do a good job, or even sometimes when you're talking to those people, they will realize that the skill set that you have, or something that you already know, will be enough for you to join the company you're working on for some specific role. So they could help you to get there.
Yeah, and you could be fit for the role, right?
Yeah.
You could fit right into technology.
Right. Yeah.
And be the future of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And it will be easier for someone to hire someone that they already know personally, you know? So
it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it possible to get into this field without a traditional computer science degree? Maybe some people don't want to go through that or don't know how to.
Yeah, it is. It is possible. I wouldn't say it's as easy. I'm not saying that it was easy before, but I believe that before the pandemic, the demand was so high that not anyone, but probably most of the persons that did some bootcamp course, for example, they would be almost 100% sure. It will be almost 100% sure that they will be hired after that bootcamp, because the demand was very high. Even the bigger companies like Meta or Google or Amazon, they were hiring people with no background, with no people that were just getting started in the area, or that they didn't have like the same skill set they require nowadays. So, but this reality changed after the pandemic, because a lot of people, there was a big boom, and a lot of people started doing the same thing. They were started to do the same bootcamp courses, and they started looking for the informal education altogether. And after the pandemic, there were like too many layoffs, big layoffs in those companies. So the reality changed a little bit, I would say, because now you have all those people that joined at that time in the area. Most of them don't have formal education. They have just those skill sets that they built, which is good. But if they are in the market and they are in the market competing with someone that has formal education, probably the recruiter that will look to their resumes will choose the person that has the formal education.
So it's better to have one than
better
not
to
have one.
That's right.
Yeah, the more experience you have, the better it looks, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I would say that, again, going back to the other answer, I think that having a mentor or having someone inside the company that you can talk to will help you to increase your chances to get hired by a company, because ultimately we want to hire people, the companies, they want to hire someone that they know that can perform the job, you know. And it's hard to say that just by talking to someone in an interview or in just a set of interviews. But if you have someone in your company that you trust, and that person can say for sure, hey, I know that person and I know that this person will do a great job, or that person has potential to become a valuable employee for this company, that will help you to get there faster.
Yeah. So speaking of skills that we're talking about, what are some skills, technical or personal, that make someone stand out in tech? We talked about the degree.
I think that communication, that's my opinion, because I know people that will think differently from me, and I understand their reasons, because there are people that are more like technical centered for that. So I'm a person that I like to look for the whole picture. When I interview someone and I try to bring someone to my team, well, that all depends on the context. If I need someone for like a senior role, probably I would hire the person that has a combination of communication skills, but I will probably be more specific about the technical requirements for that person. But if I'm hiring someone that is just getting started, I would probably look for someone that has more potential to contribute to the team. And I believe that in this aspect, in my opinion, communication skills are essential, because I would prefer to have someone joining to my team that asks questions, someone that is curious about learning things, or that is not afraid to make wrong things, to
Make mistakes,
make
right?
mistakes, yeah. Then having someone that thinks that knows everything, or that is too afraid to ask questions and try to absorb everything to themselves, and not sharing the problems with the others, because that person will have more problems growing in the long run, you know.
Yeah, your mistakes help you, right? They
Yeah.
make you better.
Yeah, that's true. So I believe that communication is probably what I see as the door opening for someone that is trying to get into the field. And I would say that the technical is important, but that is something that I'm pretty sure that I can teach people how to be better technically, but it's not always easy to make someone better at communication. So
This is something you kind of have to be practicing, right?
yes.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to my favorite part of the show, the
Okay.
common misconceptions. We're
All right.
talking myths. So what's something people often get wrong about working in tech?
Yeah. So I think that the most common mistake is that everyone thinks that tech is just about looking to a computer the entire day and not doing anything else, just typing things into the computer, sit and not going around like in the other
Coding all
jobs.
day.
Yeah, they usually think that this is all the tech is about, but it's not. We have many different roles. We have many different positions. So, for example, in our company, we have people that works with product. We have product owners, which is the person that oversees the direction that we are going to bring our software. We have the project managers, which is the person that needs to manage the project, to set the deadlines for the project, to create the environment for everyone to excel and to deliver that project. We have QA persons, which are the persons responsible to check how the software is performing. If we have any bugs, any issues that need to be solved. They ensure the quality of the software. So that's why they are QAs, the quality assurance, that means. And we have the developers as well. We have the, I don't know, sometimes some companies we have the software architects. And there are like a whole bunch of different roles that you can have there, and not all of them requires you to be a coder. So sometimes you don't touch the code, but you are an important piece of that environment. You know,
it's like a puzzle, right? Everyone makes a little piece of it.
Yeah, and when you get in a position of leadership, like I'm right now, you need to understand how those people jobs is done. Sometimes you need to perform some of those roles, because in companies like the company that I'm working on right now, we don't have all those positions. So sometimes we distribute the responsibilities of those professionals across different roles. So again, communication is essential. We need to be, sometimes we spend like the entire day talking to each other, planning and deciding how to get things done. It's not just about coding.
A lot of people think it is.
Yeah, but it's not.
The codes on the phone with the dark room and just the light on the computer.
I think that's probably at some time in history it was like that. We had those developers that they were able to create amazing stuff alone, creating great softwares, like the first softwares that we saw that were started by just a single person sit in a basement and doing stuff for an entire winter. But I don't think that things can get there this way anymore, because the softwares that we have nowadays, the meaningful ones, they are pretty, they are built by a big team usually.
Yeah, not just one person.
Not just one person. You cannot do so much alone anymore.
Yeah, you have to work in a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you said we need the communication skills.
That's true.
To work in a team.
Yeah.
Okay, you were just talking about the job, so let's continue talking about that. How do you stay updated in a field that's constantly evolving with the new technology, with working in a team?
Yeah, there are several ways that you can get up to date with everything, but I believe that my personal take for that, I prefer to watch online courses. So, but that's especially because I need to be updated up to date with everything in technology, especially for the technologies that I use in my day-to-day, because I'm responsible for the quality of the softwares that we develop, and ultimately I'm responsible to ensure that our clients will be using our softwares in a secure way, that our softwares will not break in the face of the person that is using that. So I need to make sure that we are using the latest technologies. We are not bringing anything that will be harmful to wherever we are delivering, that will be secure, that will be fast enough for a user to have a good experience playing with that. So I do online courses. There are some, I mean, the one that I prefer more is called Pluralsight. It's a website with a lot of different courses, and you can enroll there and have access to many different areas of technology. So you can learn even things that are not related with what you're doing, but you are curious about.
A good way to stay updated, right?
Yeah, it is, and you can get even certificates from those courses as well, to make sure that you understood everything that you did.
So can you apply those certifications into your resume? You can,
and you should, because that is like a proof that you did something, you know. So
that you learned something else.
Yeah, right? That you learned something else. The other ways that I do, I read a lot, so I prefer to do things, again, using some softwares like Medium. And there's another one that we call, it's called Substack, that it's where a lot of technology leaders and even just developers sometimes that have something to speak, they put their thoughts there. So it's nice to see the perspective of the persons. Sometimes they share their problems, they share the solutions that they have for some of the common problems that we have. And yeah, I believe that those are my main sources, but I also look for certifications to make sure that, I mean, not just to make sure, but to have, I don't know, this is a personal take that I have. Some people, they don't they don't think that certifications are as important as I think it is. But I tend to do some certifications on things that I think are worth enough. Like, for example, I have some certifications on AWS technologies because it was not required, but required to perform my job. But I decided to take them because I wanted to have like a stamp that would prove that I knew enough to do what I do, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, what's a common mistake people make early in their tech careers, and how can they avoid it?
Yeah, I think that we're probably already talking a little bit about this, but I think that the most common mistake would be someone to be too comfortable with what they are doing, you know?
Yeah, not branching out there and trying to learn new things.
Yeah, if you're too comfortable, if you were looking for something stable too early in your career, you're gonna have trouble. Because at some point, what you're doing will not be relevant anymore to the market. So if you stay in the same company doing the same thing every day, and you don't, I'm not saying that you should change jobs, but you should look for something else. If you're too comfortable, it means that something is wrong. Something is wrong because tech changes every time. So every year, if you stay out from tech for 1 year and you don't read anything about tech, next year you'll be totally lost because
every year a new iPhone comes out. Confused again on how to use it.
Right. Can you imagine who works with technology? Because every day you have something. Last year we didn't have the same tools that we have for artificial intelligence that we have right now.
Yes, AI is a big part of it.
Yes, that's it. And this is just like one example. So you need to be updated. You need to be uncomfortable, I would say. I prefer to be if I'm uncomfortable, if I'm doing something that makes me think that I'm still not good enough to do to deliver what I need to deliver, usually that means to me that I'm in the right path, because I will look for that knowledge. I will look to become the person that will be comfortable with that, and when I get there, I will look for the next thing that will get me uncomfortable.
That's really cool, honestly, because tech is always changing.
Yeah.
And if you're always adapting to that change, you need to adapt to that change.
True.
Right? You need to stay updated. Yeah. So let's talk about looking forward. What excites you most about the future of technology? We were just talking about the change.
Yeah. So AI, I believe it's the big part of everything that will happen in the future, in the foreseeable future, at least, because AI is already in a position that will replace everyone in tech. I don't think that they will get there anytime soon, but any meaningful website that you enter nowadays has some integration, some sort of integration. Sometimes you don't see that. Sometimes that happens in the background.
Yeah.
But you have some sort of integration with artificial intelligence, you know. So this is what excites me most about the future, because this brought a lot of new possibilities already. And I know that in the future, more things will come that will allow us to do things that were just impossible to do a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, back then they thought we would have flying cars, right?
Right.
And now we have AI.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the topic of AI, it's something that a lot of young people are excited about. I'm excited about. How do you see it showing up in your day-to-day work, and how is it changing the way you think about technology?
Yeah. So we have several tools nowadays that use AI-empowered, AI-embedded solutions. So, for example, the tools that we use to develop systems, like the coding interfaces that we have, the coding systems that we use, they are all powered with AI features. So you have there sometimes something that will tell you while you're writing your code, that it is giving you hints of what you should do next, or if you're committing, if you're doing a mistake, or if you're doing something that would introduce any new problems. So there are several different things in the software development lifecycle that we didn't have like last year. So that changed so fast.
It changed really fast. Yeah, I saw it.
So we see that in our day-to-day basis, because usually when you start developing something, you need to plan So you can even use like sometimes tools like large language models to help you organize your ideas about something that you were discussing. You can have, sometimes you have conversations about something, and there are tools in the softwares like Slack. We use Slack for communication. So Slack recently they added some feature that is you can get a transcript of the conversation that you had with someone.
That must be helpful,
So
right?
yeah, it is. So you were in a, I don't know, you were in a meeting, and that meeting lasts for 1 hour. Everyone is giving ideas. Sometimes it's a brainstorm session or something like that. So you can get that transcript, and you can get, from that transcript, you can get bullet points. You can have action points. You can have a lot of ideas that sometimes you will let them pass because it was a long meeting and you didn't make enough notes. So this is just one example. And while coding, you get those code complete features that help you to write code faster and write code more assertively.
So it's very helpful, right?
It's very helpful. I'm embracing that very well. I'm still not that comfortable enough to deliver the most sensitive parts of the development to a tool, because I believe that the human touch is essential. Someone needs to be validated by a human, because AI still commits a lot of mistakes, and it's in the end, those artificial intelligence tools, they are just systems that they seem to be perfect, but they are not. Sometimes
they're always changing.
Yeah, they're always changing, and sometimes they get results that it sounds to someone that doesn't understand the results, they are correct, but in the end those results, they are not correct. So you need to have someone that understands about the field. If the output that is coming from that tool is really what we need, and to validate that and put that ahead.
Yeah,
so
these mistakes can damage your work, right?
Yeah.
So we have to validate that.
Yeah, that's
definitely. True. Okay, so if someone watching this wants to be where you are someday, what's one small step they can make today that isn't breaking their brother's computer?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's so fun. I think that probably what I would do now, if I was just getting started and knowing what I know nowadays, I will try to build something. Today is we are living in a time where it's possible to anyone to build something like to build some app, to build some website, to build any like a small software to run on your computer. We have tools to help you to get there. If you get ChatGPT nowadays, you can ask them to help you to create your first software from scratch, and while it explains you every step along the way, I'm not saying that you're going to become a professional by doing that, but you will at least have an idea on what it takes for a software to be developed, and to understand a little bit about how it is structured, how it is, what it takes for software to be developed, So with that in mind, having done that, I believe that you should, that will give you an idea if that will be something that excites you about enough to become, to make that a profession,
Yeah.
So I didn't have this opportunity when I got started, because we didn't have like the same tools that we have nowadays. I was lucky that when I decided to enter that area, I already had those interactions with that I mentioned, with the guy that worked as a technician and so. But I know people that they started working with tech, and at some point they decided, hey, this is not for me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it was because they got into the formal education before learning anything about that. So use the tools that you have at your disposal. Try to create something simple. Try to understand how things works. Try to talk to someone that is in the area. And those are probably easy steps. You don't need to be to spend a lot of your time to get there.
Yeah. Is there any, like, for young people, is there any classes at school they could take? I know some schools offer like web design, which is really cool.
Yeah, I would say probably I think that the most important one that it will take, if it's available for you, will be programming logic. Because programming logic, you understand how computers think, so the logical thinking that is behind a computer system, you are going to learn how that works. It's not easy. It's a complex subject, but as soon as you understand that, you're going to understand everything. It's like the base that you need to have. Of course, there are other things that are as important as that, but this is the base for everything. Any computer system you need to know programming logic to build those systems. So you can build things without knowing that, but probably you're going to have a big trouble if you need to fix those systems, because AI will give you the thing done, but you need to understand how it's that done, how what is the logic behind that, So I would say that if this course is available, you should take that. This is probably the most important one, and it will give you a grasp of what is coming next.
Thank you, Paulo, for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And that's a wrap on today's episode. Huge thanks to Paulo for sharing his journey and showing us how curiosity and determination can open doors in the tech world. Next time, we'll be chatting with Nakamura, a software developer and judo coach who's balancing two very different careers and thriving in both. See you then.